one thing I really like about this kit that's unique to it is that it has the adjustability for caster and camber built into the lower arm. So because it has an alignment pin on each bushing, you can actually align them opposing to each other if you wanted to add or subtract caster into the spindle, and at the same time you can adjust camber. So even if your frame rails weren't trued up before you installed everything, if they weren't perfect, you'll still be able to get it into alignment easily. Most alignment shops are rolling their eyes as soon as you pull in. But on something like this, man, even the novice alignment shop guy is gonna see that and know exactly what to do. Having these aligned down there, it's cool. It's not only functional, but it's fashionable. A lot of really nice engineering went into that. The triangulation here of your motor mounts tying into your cross member and supporting the upper arm right on the other side of the airbag mount is gonna stabilize the frame. So as you go down the road, you can even hit a pothole. It's gonna do as good or better than your factory suspension did. And that part of it's extremely well thought out. If you come up here and look at this rack and pinion mount, and it is just kind of a small thing, but to me it was really cool to see. So typically, even when we've set up a rack on a factory cross member or even a modified cross member, we'll weld a bung into the cross member, and it's stout enough, but basically it makes it single shear. So you run a bolt through your factory mount and it holds the rack on. So basically what you have is a bung welded into the cross member that's threaded, that receives the correct size bolt for the rack. And then on top of that, he gives you this plate that also bolts into the cross member and converts what was single shear to double shear. So now you're pinching the rack from 2 points, which is much safer and stable for the rack. Well, the front end on this particular truck was in pretty rough shape when it came in. So it had the typical C10 steering box issue with the Saginaw box, where these trucks are pretty notorious. They try to rip the steering box off of the frame. So there's a little bit of work that had to be doctored there. And by the time we did that, maybe the truck had been in a wreck or something, but we noticed that as soon as we got it on the table that the rails weren't straight, they weren't square. And so that kind of fought me. So that was on the factory frame side of it. What we did is we tacked all the rails in place, kept them square, kept them the right distance apart, and then we used the chop and block stuff actually as part of our jig. So we used all the grade 8 hardware that he supplied in order to gather up the frame rails and square it up, and we started squaring off from that. The hard part for me was fighting the factory stuff. So the chop and block stuff went on really nice, really, really nice.
So at this point, when he wants to paint it, he just scuffs all this, just sand all this like it's a epoxy powder coat.
Well, and it's just the same for us to do any metal work. We just sand it down and do our metal work, and then move on. We've got something that we can put on it to keep rust off of it, but
at least at this
now
point,
it's coated
you
everywhere.
don't have to worry about it rusting in the
Right?
meantime.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Cool.
I love it. Super impressed.
Kind of pricey, huh?
Fuck! I was like, whoa. It is, dude. But I mean, look, you actually have. Yeah. Then I gotta go right again.